Buddha's final teachings emphasized the importance of self-reliance and inner wisdom. During the rainy season, Buddha fell seriously ill, experiencing immense pain. However, through sheer willpower, he overcame his suffering. Despite his condition, he remained mindful and self-possessed, determined to leave a final message for his disciples. His devoted follower, Ananda, deeply affected by Buddha's illness, sought guidance. Hoping for reassurance, Buddha reminded him that he had never kept any secret teachings and had always shared the truth openly. He explained that the order should not depend on him, as his time was coming to an end. Instead, he urged his followers to be their own guides. Buddha's greatest lesson was self-reliance. He taught that one must be a lamp for oneself, relying on inner strength rather than seeking external help. True enlightenment, he said, is achieved by looking inward, understanding one's thoughts, and mastering the mind. He used the metaphor of a worn-out cart to describe his aging body, stressing that wisdom and peace come from deep meditation. His final words encouraged his disciples to continue their spiritual journey independently. Buddha's ultimate message was clear: true wisdom comes from within, and enlightenment is found through self-discipline, mindfulness, and inner strength. Buddha's final teachings emphasized the necessity of self-reliance and inner wisdom. During his last days, he instructed his disciples to depend on themselves rather than external help. He explained that true enlightenment does not come from others but from within. His devoted follower, Ananda, was deeply affected by Buddha's declining health and sought comfort. However, Buddha reminded him that he had already shared all the wisdom they needed and had never kept any hidden teachings. He emphasized that the order should not depend on him but should continue to seek truth and enlightenment on their own. He encouraged them to be their own lamps, illuminating their paths with their wisdom. He stressed the importance of deep self-reflection, mindfulness, and discipline in overcoming suffering. Buddha's metaphor of a worn-out cart illustrated that even as his body weakened, his mind remained strong. His last message was a call for self-awareness and independence. He urged his followers to look inward and seek truth from within. Buddha's legacy teaches that true wisdom and peace are found by mastering one's thoughts, emotions, and actions. His final lesson remains a timeless guide for all who seek enlightenment: rely on yourself, trust your inner wisdom, and walk your own path. Buddha's final teachings focused on self-reliance and the pursuit of enlightenment through personal effort. As he approached the end of his life, he reminded his disciples that he had never kept any wisdom hidden. He had always preached the truth openly, with no secret teachings reserved for a select few. Ananda, one of his closest followers, was deeply distressed by Buddha's illness. However, Buddha reassured him that everything necessary for enlightenment had already been shared. He instructed his disciples not to depend on him or any external guidance but to become their own source of wisdom. He encouraged them to be their own lamps, using mindfulness and self-awareness to navigate life's challenges. He emphasized that enlightenment is not something given by others, it is discovered within. True liberation comes from understanding one's thoughts, emotions, and desires. His analogy of the worn-out cart symbolized the fragility of the body but the strength of the mind. His ultimate message was clear: salvation is an individual journey. Instead of seeking answers elsewhere, one must look inward, relying on discipline and deep self-reflection. Buddha's last words remain a timeless lesson, reminding humanity that true wisdom and peace are found by mastering oneself, not by depending on. Buddha's teachings emphasized self-reliance, wisdom, and inner strength. As he neared the end of his life, he reminded his disciples that he had shared all the knowledge they needed to attain enlightenment. Ananda, his devoted follower, was deeply troubled by Buddha's illness, fearing what would happen after his passing. However, Buddha reassured him that the truth had never been hidden and that true wisdom could not be given by another but must be realized through personal effort. He urged his disciples not to rely on external guidance but to be their own lamps, illuminating their path with mindfulness and self-awareness. He explained that suffering arises from attachment and that by understanding one's thoughts, emotions, and desires, one can overcome pain and achieve peace. Buddha compared his body to a worn-out cart, highlighting the impermanence of physical existence but the endurance of wisdom. His final lesson was clear: salvation is a personal journey, and true enlightenment comes from looking within. Those who seek wisdom must cultivate self-discipline, trust their inner strength, and rely on their own understanding. Buddha's last words serve as a timeless reminder that the path to liberation lies not in external sources but within ourselves. Buddha's final teachings emphasized self-reliance and inner wisdom. He reminded his disciples that true enlightenment does not come from external guidance but from looking within. Ananda, his devoted follower, was distressed by Buddha's illness, fearing what would happen after his passing. However, Buddha reassured him that he had already shared all the knowledge needed to attain enlightenment. He urged his disciples to be their own lamps, illuminating their path through self-awareness and mindfulness. He explained that suffering arises from attachment, and only by understanding one's own thoughts and emotions can one achieve peace. Buddha compared his aging body to a worn-out cart, emphasizing the impermanence of physical existence but the eternal value of wisdom. He encouraged his followers not to depend on him but to seek their salvation through truth and self-discipline. His final message was a powerful reminder that true wisdom and strength come from within. Just as he attained enlightenment through self-reflection, every individual must rely on their own understanding and efforts to find their path. His teachings inspire us to cultivate self-reliance, trust our intuition, and strive for inner peace, reminding us that true guidance lies not in external sources but in our own hearts and minds.